Good Friday afternoon. Thanks for joining us on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Chris Harabsky. Minnesota honors a lawmaker and her husband today with a final goodbye. The public is paying tribute to former House Speaker Melissa Hortman, her husband Mark, along with their golden retriever. They are lying in state in the rotunda at the state capitol as we speak. The public will be able to pay their respects until 5 p.m. as long as they're lined up outside at that point. Our Danny Spiewak takes a look at Representative Melissa Hortman's political legacy.
It's absolutely inexcusable, and the jury.
As a young attorney, Melissa Hortman made her first bid for the Minnesota House in 1998. She lost that year and again in 2002 before finally breaking through in 2004.
I met Melissa Hortman when I was 18 years old.
Representative Zach Stevenson worked on Hortman's early campaigns and managed her successful 2004 election.
Melissa grew up in a working class community in Anoka County, and a lot of those values shaped her all the way through.
In her first years at the Capitol, Hortman pushed for Minnesota to host the Olympics.
Take a look at what goes into making a bid.
And argued for lower college costs.
And they're reeling from it.
After rising to House DFL minority leader in 2017, Hortman wasn't afraid to call out colleagues.
I'm really tired of watching women of color, in particular, being ignored.
Hortman became House Speaker in 2019 when the DFL took the majority. And after the DFL swept control of the whole legislature in 2023, she led the party's efforts to protect abortion rights, legalize recreational marijuana, and implement paid family and medical leave.
There's been a lot of things we've been able to get done that we've been trying to do.
These were policies that Republicans like Lisa Demuth opposed.
Even though obviously we're not aligned politically on things, we had more in common than the things that we disagreed on.
When Demuth took over Speaker this year in a tied House, she modeled the role after Hortman.
That's the example that I have, and what a fabulous example of a leader.
Now, the House DFL and Hortman's former campaign manager, Zach Stevenson, must somehow move forward.
Because of Melissa's leadership style, where she invested in others, lifted other people up, gave other people opportunities, there's a host of people here at the Capitol who are ready to continue her work and make sure that her legacy lives on.
Danny Spiewak reporting there. Again, Melissa, Mark, and Gilbert will lie in state until 5 o'clock today. We will return to reflect at the rotunda later in this broadcast. The Hortman's funeral is tomorrow. It is private. However, we will have extended coverage on KARE 11 and KARE 11 Plus, and that is beginning at 10:30 Saturday morning. Also today, alleged assassin Vance Belter was back in federal court today. Belter's attorney asked for a continuance, meaning moving the hearing to another day, saying Belter is sleep deprived because of poor jail conditions. Belter spoke in court saying, quote, "Your Honor, I haven't really slept in 12 to 14 days and I appreciate the motion to extend this so I can get some sleep." He goes on to say, and would also like to state, "I have never been suicidal and I'm not suicidal now," end quote. The judge approved the continuance with Belter's next hearing now scheduled for July 3rd. Another big story we're following today, the U.S. Supreme Court issuing several major decisions, including limiting the power of federal judges to issue nationwide injunctions, a ruling that gives President Trump a victory to implement his executive order to end birthright citizenship, at least for now. But the future of the interpretation of that 14th Amendment is still unclear. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest details from Washington.
Hi there. The Supreme Court today issuing a major ruling that allows the Trump administration to take steps to enforce its controversial proposal to end automatic birthright citizenship for children born in the United States to parents who are undocumented immigrants. The ruling narrows the scope of what's known as nationwide injunctions to apply only to groups and individuals that sued.
The Supreme Court has delivered a monumental victory for the Constitution, the separation of powers, and the rule of law in striking down the excessive use of nationwide injunctions to interfere with the normal functioning of the executive branch.
Dealing a serious blow to the power of individual judges in lower courts to block policies across the whole country, something we've seen happen many times during the second Trump term.
In recent months, we've seen a handful of radical left judges effectively try to overrule the rightful powers of the president.
In this case, that means that the birthright citizenship case can move forward in states that challenged it and in states that did not. The case never addressed the legal merits of overturning birthright citizenship outlined in the Constitution's 14th Amendment, focusing only on whether judges had the authority to put it on hold across the entire country. All 6 conservative justices agreed here. All 3 liberals dissented. And again, this ruling has wide-ranging implications for a whole series of other nationwide injunctions judges have issued against Trump administration policies throughout this year. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
If you are driving anywhere in the metro this weekend, pay close attention. 3 of the busiest highways in the Twin Cities are going to be a no-go. CeCe Gaines walks us through the closures and the detours.
Hey there, starting Friday night at 10, 494 eastbound will close between Highway 100 here and 35W in Bloomington. This is as you're driving toward the Mall of America or the airport, so you will need to detour this weekend. That detour is 100 northbound, 62 eastbound, and then hopping on 77 southbound. That'll get you back on the eastbound route. At the same time, 494 westbound will shut down. This is a larger stretch between Highway 100 and then Highway 77. That's as you're driving toward Highway 169, the Eden Prairie area. That detour is just opposite of the last one. So 77 northbound, 62 westbound, 100 southbound. Both projects wrap Monday morning at 5. But Highway 62 is going to see a lot more people this weekend. So add some extra time.
Thank you, CeCe. Hey, rainbow flags are flying all over town this weekend, but especially in downtown Minneapolis for the Twin Cities Pride Festival. It is the 53rd annual Pride. It's the largest free festival in the country. It kicks off tonight with Youth Night at Loring Park from 4 to 8. And don't forget the Pride Parade on Sunday. It starts at 11 a.m. along Hennepin Avenue. Stick with us. We got weather coming up along with a visit to the state capitol after the break.